Hey, before I go to bed, one more little bit of content. So there's something called the gain loss theory. So if y'all want to look it up on Google, but this is a psychological term. The gain loss theory means this is when you're dealing with relationships with people, whether it's any type of relationship with the human being, the human to human. If a person dislikes you for whatever reason, sometimes they don't know you, or they know something about you, they don't really have all the facts, and they may have just made their own perception on if they like you or not. Or if they have enough facts and they just feel like they don't like you, right? That's just their own personal reasons. When it gets to the point where they change their mind down the line, maybe they got some new information about you, maybe they started to get to, you grew on them or whatever, and then they start to like you. Studies show that when it goes from dislike to like, the person that they initially dislike tends to like that person even more. And in the opposite direction, when a person likes you at first and then they grow to dislike you, it goes into more of a loss. So I'm gonna give you an example. If a guy likes you, but he wants to act like he don't like you, he might use the gain loss theory. He might play the game by trying to act like he's going to disrespect you by saying you ugly, or you ain't all that, or you think you all that, whatever he's saying to get a rise out of that person. It happens a lot on social media. People bully you, they call you names, know nothing about you, but they'll finally get a rise out of you because we as humans, we want to be liked, right? It's a natural reaction to, you don't want to be disliked, right? So if a guy is using that theory, he may not know it's a theory, but he might just be using it because, some people just play games. Some people just like to play games with people's heads. So if the guy is trying to gain that woman's attention, and let's say she might be good looking and he feels that other guys are looking at her, so he's going to be different by being an a-hole. So he starts, like, out of all the nice guys, he might say something mean to her. If you ever notice, if you watch those type of movies, those women fall for those kind of guys, the ones that are rude and disrespectful, and then she's trying to gain his approval because he done crushed her spirit, or he done crushed her self-esteem. So next thing you know, she's trying to now spend all her attention trying to wonder, well, why he doesn't like me, why does he feel like I'm a bad person, or why does he feel like I'm not all that, whatever the reason is. So then he finally gets her attention, and then they have a relationship. Studies show those type of relationships don't work, because the foundation of the relationship was built on a false premise. It was built on fakeness, like you were future faking. Does that make sense? I forgot what I was going to say that quick. Oh, I hate when it happens. I got so caught up in my emotions expressing that. The other way could be the person initially liked you. Maybe you're at work. A couple of people don't really take to you right away, and then they eventually like you. Those relationships can work at the office because you're not trying to build an intimate relationship with them. But studies show, if it's an intimate relationship and that person is doing that only for the gain of getting your attention by disrespecting you or putting you down or fucking with your self-esteem, it will work on some women. It will get their attention, and they will try to figure out why that particular guy feels that way, because now they're hearing something different than from what other men will tell them. Like if other men is like, oh, you're pretty, oh, you're great, you're a nice person, and then this one guy is like, who, her? Where's she great at? She ain't all that, and then that chick, she might be feeling some it usually works with people with low self-esteem or low confidence or low self-worth. They will usually fall for that and be like, well, why that guy don't like me? Why he say that about me? Let me prove to him I'm not a bad person. Next thing you know, she's sleeping with the guy just to get approval, and when all along that's what he wanted to do in the first place. Shebang, thank you, ma'am. You know what I mean? Some of these people are not wrapped. They're just wrapped in evil. There's a lot of evil intent when it comes to sometimes people meeting you. Okay, another incident. It's called the gain loss theory. It can be in long-term relationships where you get into this kind of like routine of knowing your partner, right? That's a natural routine. It's called companionship. You're past the passionate stage and y'all are just like a cohesive one. Sometimes when they, let's say the person compliments you or they do something nice for you, you don't take it as a gain or a reward because you're so used to the way y'all, how y'all function. So it's not that you don't appreciate it, you're just used to it. This is with male or female. This is the human psychology. I'm just giving y'all some little tidbits here and there, right? When it becomes an issue, this is why sometimes when husbands and wives are married for a long time, the wife or the husband don't start paying attention to each other until they feel like they're going to lose something. And how that happens is the dude, or he might start spending more time away from the house, at the office. And if she's the type of wife that maybe her husband is fine, like he's some people just age and they just be getting finer and finer, hint hint. I'm just playing. So let's say he's one of those type of men that he's a catch, right? But you just so used to him, so you're not doting all over him because y'all past that stage. Y'all just comfortable. Y'all know y'all love each other, right? Nothing wrong with that. But so that's why it's good to like spice up your relationship every now and then, right? Because when it lose that mojo and other bitches start checking him out, so you start feeling some type of way, like, I know I'm fine, but he fine too. So like, okay, what's going on, right? So he at the office late nights now. You start trying to like, you may love your husband, but if the thought might cross your mind, because now it starts to feel like a loss, that's when you start to realize you want to gain him back. You want to gain back that attention. You want to get. So now when he stops saying, oh, I love that dress on you, sweetheart, I love those lipsticks on you that you wear, when he was all yours and all into you, it was like, okay, thank you, sweetie. But it wasn't really changing your whole, you know what I mean? But then when he leave and you're not feeling that, you're feeling something might be losing, all of a sudden when he tells you that dress look good, you start like, yeah, you ready to do the 1-2 dance, right? Because you're happy now he's really paying attention to you. Same thing with the men. It's the same for psychology. If she stopped looking at you as much, or she stopped kissing on you, or she start getting more attention outside the house, and she start walking a different way because of the attention, and you're like, wait a minute, you wasn't all that happy when we was home. Now all of a sudden we about to leave and go out, you acting funny. That's not how you normally act. Then you start feeling a loss. That's why you start to appreciate the person a little bit more. Same thing with if you have a bunch of friends and your friends is always around. If you lose one of those friends, even though it's just that one friend, it will feel like more of a loss than the friends you already have. It's just a human thing. It's like you'll start to focus on the friend that you lost. Does that make sense? If you lose a friend and you got like 5 other friends, even though you still got the 5 friends, you're going to think about the one you lost. Anytime a human loses something that has some level of value, it will feel stronger than the gain. Because I think it's because of like a innate ancestral thing where we had to survive, in order to live, we had to survive. So when we rationed out food and we had resources, we had to make sure we didn't lose anything. So we always have that fear of loss, fear of poverty, fear of DEHT, unalive, fear of death. It's always looming over the human psyche. So we always have that. That's why we pay attention to more of like negativity versus the positive. So if somebody says something mean to you, like it might fuck with you the rest of the day, versus if somebody said, hey, you look nice. You heard that many times before, so it may feel good, but then when you hear that you're a bitch, that might stay on your mind for a couple of days, because it'd be like, why did that person say that? You feel what I'm saying? So just a little thing to ponder on, understanding the human psyche. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about in relationships, but I'm gonna leave that for my next video. It's talking about when people are not open. Openness is a trait. And if you take the 5 personality test, I'm gonna have to get the website for you. I'm just a little tired tonight, so I'm gonna do it tomorrow. It's called the 5 personality test. If you take that test, it'll tell you how much of a percentage you are on the openness scale from, well, I think it's from 1 to 100. Then you have like agreeableness. Those two, openness and agreeableness, it kind of tells you the level of rigidity you have in your trait. If you're too rigid, you're going to be hard to deal with. I'm not saying that's going to be impossible, but you're going to be hard to deal with in relationships. And then on top of that, if you have an attachment style issue, that's a double whammy. So a lot of times people with the personality disorders, they score really, really low on openness, and they score really, really low on agreeableness. You see what I'm saying? So when you score that low, it shows that you're very rigid. So then it goes back to what I showed you in the skit on my other video of being in a relationship with a covert narcissist, and they're fussing over a can of tuna fish when they could just simply just move the can. They'll fuss about it, and it has to be in that spot. If that's the spot they picked for that can, that's the spot it needs to remain, or all hell's gonna break loose. That's rigidity. A lot of times with OCD, when a person has OCD, you know, they're obsessive compulsive. If they are at that point where everything has to be set up a certain way, and you come and you take it out of that order, they have anxiety attacks and panic attacks. But anyways, I'll go further into that on another video. But talk to you guys soon. Love you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new to my channel. I am trying to build my channel, so it's going to be, you know, different things. I try to be entertaining as much as I can, without trying to offend people. I'm very raw. I'm from New York City. I'm a Scorpio, and I am from Trinidad and Tobago. So I will see, this is the thing about being a content creator. You want to remain true to self. That's me. Now, I'm not talking about anybody else. For me, in order to like being a YouTuber, in order to like being a content creator, I need to remain true to self. I will try my best. If I offend people, and that's not my intent, if I say things that's a little, you know, sometimes I got to give trigger warnings, because my life, y'all know, has been crazy. My whole childhood was crazy. So I will try my best to be mindful to give trigger warnings, not to say anything too out of the ordinary that I know could possibly hurt people. There are a lot of narcissists all over the world. So if a narcissist is watching my channel, just grow from it. Instead of getting offended, just grow from it. Because my thing is, I can't cater my videos to every individual that send me a comment. Oh, like, I don't like this. I don't like what you said about this. Unless I am being a bigot, which I'm not, a homophobic, which I'm not, a racist, which I'm not, or any of those isms, classism, sexism, genderism, all of that, I am not. All I do is bring awareness to open up your mind, because no matter what gender, what race, or whatever you got going on, orientation, creed, nothing, we can all learn from something. And when I say things, it is not to judge you, it is just basically to bring awareness. And then sometimes it's about my own experience on the evil that has been done to me. So I can't sugarcoat that, because that's something that happened to me. That's a personal truth of myself. If I lie and say, oh, it wasn't that bad, then I'm robbing myself. It'll hurt me on the inside if I can't tell y'all my true feeling about how I felt about abuse. And this is the issue. If you can't talk about your own abuse, it's my own story. Why are people getting mad about my own story? I talked about my aunt the other day in the occult, and how they tried to sacrifice my daughter, and somebody came in the comment and said, why are you always being negative? How am I being negative if I'm just telling my truth, my story? If that bothers a person, don't watch the video. It's just that simple. This is like a TV channel. You have a remote, you don't like something, boop, you change the channel. No one's forcing you and putting a handcuff and saying you must watch CC Trucker's channel talking about demon attacks or narcissism. So, like, let's be fair. Let's be fair. Because at the end of the day, this is part of my career. I have to talk about these sensitive topics. And I'm not saying that, like I said, I will watch and be mindful of not saying it offensively. So if I say anything In my past videos that was offensive, I apologize. Moving forward, I will watch and try to be careful not to be offensive. I will try, in order for me to do it like that, I would have to bring a little bit more medical terminologies. It may make the channel a little bit more stush and boring, but just for the sake of not pissing people off, because believe it or not, y'all, I get a lot of hate on the back end. I get a lot of offended people on the back end, people that I know and people that I don't know. And sometimes it makes me want to quit YouTube because I can't please everybody. So it's like I just talk to God and I say, God, do you want me to continue doing what I do? Give me a sign, because sometimes I feel like I'm doing something wrong or I'm being a bad person because people don't like some of the things I say. And it happened today. And I'm going to give a shout out to, I hope I don't say her name wrong. I'm trying to remember. Cortiana. If I said your name wrong, please forgive me. Beautiful sister. I don't want to put you out like that. So I'm not going to say too much. But I think you are dope. From what I've seen on your channel, I think you're dope. So when I read your comment today, it really inspired me to keep doing what I do, because sometimes I'll be ready to just say, F this stuff, it ain't even worth it, right? Because I'm thinking I'm helping, and then it'd be like, you said, and I don't like the fact that you think you all of that, and you ain't no real person. That's what I hear on the back end. Believe it or not, y'all don't know the whole shit, right? So when she came on and you told me, and if you've seen this video, God bless you, shout out to you, right? When you said, your videos get me through the day, I like that, because there was a lady named Sharon So Fabulous that I watched when I first started the trucking journey. She inspired me to become a truck. I was already thinking about being a truck driver, but when I seen her videos, and she went to the same trucking school, she went to Prime Trucking School, I went to Prime Trucking School in Missouri, I was like, this lady is fly. She was on a truck looking glamorous, and it gave me inspiration. So she opened up her world. She talked about her marriage, her divorce, the struggles. She was doing this 7-8 years ago when nobody was really doing YouTube talking about their personal journey. And her channel is a success. Even up to this day, she's no longer a truck driver, but her channel is a success. We go and see in her world. She's with her fiance every day. Her and the guy's name is damn, how did I forget his name that fast? Oh damn, I think it's Will. Anyways, he's hella funny. Her fiance is hella funny. I'm just having a brain fart because I just read 20 pages on my chapter for homework, so my brain is literally fried. But she inspired me to become a trucker. And when I was on that truck and I was having beef with certain people on YouTube, that was maybe a year and a half ago, I came and I made a video and I said, quitting YouTube. She came in my comments, and I didn't even know this lady used to watch my channel. And she said, don't you dare quit. You gave me inspiration. You give me inspiration to keep watching the trucking channel, because she was no longer a trucker. And I'm like, well, I'll be damned. Sharon So Fabulous hit me, little old me up. This is when I only had like 500 subscribers. I'm telling y'all, life is funny that way. We as humans, we need each other. As much as we be hating on each other and cussing each other out and talking shit, we need each other. I ain't saying you need everybody now, because everybody ain't for you, but I'm just saying the world is, the humans make the world go round. We need each other. So we learn from each other, we grow from each other, we evolve, all of that. Because even from the bad people, even watching what the bad people do helps you to evolve. So even they're teaching you valuable lessons in life. But like I said, sometimes it gets challenging to do this content creating stuff, because people don't always receive me. And especially when you look a certain way, people watch what you say when you look a certain way. Because if I looked a hot mess and I was just saying things that sound a hot mess, guess what? They probably wouldn't even care. But when you look like you about something in life and you start saying stuff and it hit people a certain kind of way, oh, they'll be your worst enemy at that point. And I understand that dynamic. I understand that people will be affected by what I say. So I have to be mindful, and I try to not be so harsh. Because the old me 10 years ago, y'all wouldn't have been able to handle me. The ones that have a problem with me, y'all wouldn't have been able to handle me. Because I would straight tear people's ass up with my comments. Be like, what? Did y'all see what just happened? But I learned that you don't have to say things so harshly. You see what I'm saying? So now, as I've evolved and became older, I try to say it with love and care. Because even my kids, I had to learn how to become more open and soft spoken with them, because it might hurt their feelings. And I'll say, listen, can you consider doing this, instead of, you better do this. That was the old me. What'd you say? You better do it my way or else. Okay? And I realized that don't really work, because now they don't like your ass, and every time you come in the room, whatever they was doing, they gonna hide it. I'd rather you be real with me as my child and let me know what the hell you into. So that way I can give you advice, give you sound advice on what you should be doing. But that's just my point, is like, this content creating stuff is not easy, and it's not because of the content itself, because I have a lot to say. But I hold back a lot because I have to make sure I use discernment. I have to make sure that I use diplomacy and tact. And then that makes me have to rethink. You know when you write a rough draft paper and then you got to rewrite it because you read the first draft, you're like, oh, hell no, there's too many mistakes. Then you read it again, you're like, nah, I should have rephrased that. And then you reread it again. That's what comes with content creating. So when I get feedback from you guys, good and bad, I have to still receive it. So now when I keep constantly getting more and more negative feedback from particular types of people, I realize, okay, this is not part of the game. This is more these people trying to control my channel. So I have to realize when I'm being under demonic attack versus good people just giving me sound advice. Like Kim, she's a good person. From what I read so far, Kim, I could tell you're a good person. So you'll keep me on my toes. You'll be like, be careful when you're saying God and cursing in the same sentence. I'll be like, okay, you know what? Kim is, to me, is like my eyes. She's like my little guardian angel. She comes in the comments and she be like, I like what you said about that. Just be careful when you say this. I love advice, because I'm good to give advice too. But I also like when people give me advice. It helps me. But when you keep coming at me and saying mean things just to try to change my channel or try to make me feel like I'm a piece of shit, that's when I start realizing, okay, I'm under demonic attack. I need to go pray up. And I start praying and praying and praying. So I can see the difference. But like I said, some days you get weary. And these last couple of days I've been a little weary. But when I read the message this morning from Katania, please, I gotta reread your name. I hope I didn't fuck it up. And you said that you said to me, keep doing what you do. And then you said, I watch you on a regular basis or whatever. That really touched me, and I really, really, really thank you. But I know that God sent you to send me that message, because I specifically asked God 2 days ago and yesterday, give me a sign if I'm doing the right thing. That's how God works. He works through other people. So I always receive signs. I pay attention because I'm very spiritual. So anyways, y'all, before I start running my trap, I will talk to you guys later. Love y'all much. Bye. Good night.